Printing. In order to have a civilization, you have to have a way of keeping records and passing along information. The first step is a written language. Next, you have to have something to put your writing on. In ancient Sumer, they used clay tablets, which were bulky and fragile and hard to carry around. The ancient Egyptians used a kind of paper made out of papyrus leaves, which was an improvement over clay tablets, but still expensive to make. About 2,000 years ago, about the time of Jesus, a man whose name has come down to us, Cai Lun, took the bark of the mulberry tree, a favorite food of Chinese silkworms, mixed it up with bamboo fibers and water, and pounded the mixture flat with a wooden hammer. Then he spread the goo over the cloth, pressed out the water, and let it dry. The result? Paper. A cheap, lightweight way to keep records and communicate knowledge. If the Arabs who traded with the Chinese had not copied their method of making paper, the Quran would not have been possible, and Islam might not have become as popular as it did. Even with paper, it is not possible to mass produce information, since each message has to be written by hand. It wasn't until the Sui dynasty, 581 to 618 CE, that the Chinese came up with an improvement to their writing system. They found that if they carved a message into wood, they could smear ink over the wood, press it onto sheets of paper, and create copies of a text, kind of like an old-school copy machine. Still later, in 1045 CE, when the Crusaders were occupying Jerusalem, a Chinese peasant named Bi Sheng created a revolution in printing when he invented movable type. Instead of having to carve out every message, Bi Sheng created clay copies of every Chinese character, which could be moved around and kept in place with wax. This speeded up the printing process to where it was possible to make books, which meant it was possible to store vast amounts of accumulated knowledge and share ideas with large numbers of people. In the mid-1400s, Europeans learned the Chinese methods of movable type, but with metal letters instead of the clay characters the Chinese used. And it was only a short time later that Martin Luther was translating the Latin Bible into German and printing them by the thousands for sale in bookstalls of Europe, along with the writings of ancient philosophers. These books sparked the European Renaissance and led to the emergence of the modern world.